Hey guys, it's Monday Maker. Welcome. So much fun things going on this week. I cannot even begin to tell you. It's gonna be such a good week. I just have this feeling. I had the feeling last night as I was getting ready to go to bed last night. I was like, you know what? There's something about this week. It's going to be a good one. So I hope that that's true. It's only Monday, but so far so good, right? I've started out, at least on my little, corner of the world here. I've started out in a positive way. So hopefully that will just build some momentum and keep on going right on through the rest of the week. And we are celebrating Rainbow Week at Jesse James Beads, which is awesome. It's awesome. Okay. That means a different color every single day. That is good stuff. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it means that today we are kicking off Rainbow Week with red. Who does not love red? I love red. Clearly, I have a red situation, if you will. And I'm a huge fan of red. And so starting out Rainbow Week on a red note, there's just another positive part. I just know this week is going to be a good one. I can just feel it, right? So Rainbow Week means that every single day there is going to be a new color. Today is red, just like I said, and that means that there is 30% off the red collection on the Jesse James Beads website until 11 a.m. tomorrow. So you've got a whole 24 hours to get 30% off the red collection. So when you go over to the Jesse James Beads website, click on Shop by Color, and there is a whole list of colors. I believe there are 16 colors there. Pick red and check out the red collection. There is so much to choose from. That's what makes it so awesome, right? I mean, because there's just so much good stuff. And if you love red, like I do, it's going to be a good one. I've got some really beautiful red beads for you guys tonight that we are going to use in our project. This project is a necklace project, and it's a fairly easy one, but it's got some fun little extra elements in it, and it's just sassy. Remember last week I was kind of sassy? So in celebration of my sassiness last week, we're making a sassy necklace this week. It's a cool one. It's a 3-tiered necklace, and we've got some gorgeous red beads to put in it. And before we do that, though, I do want to mention what the code is. It's rainbow, all capital letters. That's going to get you 30% off. And that only lasts on the red until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so don't forget that part. That part, if you wait until tomorrow morning, don't wait too late. Okay, do your shopping tonight if you're gonna grab some of the red. Also, there is free shipping on carts that are $129 as the minimum. Free shipping in the US all week. There's no code for that. So if you do the $129, Shane says, "You sassy? No way." Yeah. If you do the 30% off of the red, right, and you fill your cart up with red, and you fill it up to $129 worth of red, you're going to get free shipping, which is pretty awesome. So you're pretty much getting 2 deals in one with that, since you don't have to have the coupon code for the free shipping. And if you don't happen to spend $129 for your free shipping, there are on the weekly deals page 2 more weekly deals for a lower amount cart. So there is literally something for everybody. That's the way Jesse James Beads likes to do it, right? So that everybody gets some extra little bonuses with their purchases. So definitely check out the weekly deals. Don't forget to take the 30% off on your red, and get the red quick, because all you got's till tomorrow morning. Okay, so let's get started with today's project. I'm excited because I love these beads. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so here we go. All right, we're going to be using 2 strands of beads from the red collection for our necklace. And let's see, this is chili pepper number 2. So there were 2 chili pepper strands over on the website. This is chili pepper number 2. And you see this really gorgeous emerald cut bead? That's what we're going to be using as one of the kind of, it's not necessarily a focal, but like kinda, you'll just have to wait to see how the necklace is put together, but definitely one of the attention grabbing beads, if you will. So there is chili pepper number 1, and then I believe this was chili pepper, or I'm sorry, this is chili pepper 2. I believe this was chili pepper 1. So chili pepper 1, I don't have it in strand form anymore. I had to take it apart so that I could put together the necklace for you guys, and because there was a lot of wire wrapping to do, so I did some of the wire wrapping ahead of time, so we're not here forever, right? So this is the beauty that we are using tonight. I'm so excited. So just to take a minute to kind of take in the gorgeousness of all the red that is here. So we definitely have this. This is a very chili pepper-esque colored bead. This is going to be in the middle of our necklace, and then it is going to be flanked by these 2 guys, which probably are my favorites. It's really hard for me to choose, particularly when it comes to red, because I love red. I have red everything. But these have that finish on them that feels like, I don't even know how to describe it. It almost feels like velvet. The finish on this is just so soft. It's really crazy. And the finish, not only does it look good, but it gives off this really different kind of shine to it. It's understated, but very, I don't even know. It almost looks like it glows, right? I just think it's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we're also going to use some of these little guys because I am in absolute love with this deep, deep red color. Like if I could get my hair that color, that's the color it would be all the time. I have a room downstairs in my house, no joke, that is this color. That's how much I love red, and it's actually probably closer to this color, but yeah. So there was a lot of beautiful shapes in this strand, and that wasn't even all of it. So there were 2 of these really gorgeous kind of glittery bohos, and then these bohos that were on the strand as well. So there was like a little bit of everything just in that one strand. It's so, so pretty. Yes, satin red. Satin is definitely what I would call that finish too, right? I mean, even, yeah, it's just, it feels like satin. It looks like satin. That's exactly the perfect way to describe that. And then of course there were some beautiful little bead caps and rhinestone spacers and some pops of gold in the strand as well. You can see the full strand over on the website, but unfortunately I had to take it apart. All right, gonna look at this one real quick. So we're only going to use one of the beads on this strand. We're just going to use this beautiful emerald shaped bead, but as we're going along, I want you to consider that you could mix and match these 2 strands together and still have the same necklace, but with completely different beads, right? And the reds, like both strands, go together. It's just that one has some pops of silver metal and the other one has the gold. So we're going to kind of go in the gold warm area for our necklace, but you absolutely could do this in silver and use some of these, like this guy. That is gorgeous. The one in the middle, I cannot get over how pretty that is. It looks just like a rose bush. It reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, right? That is so, so pretty. It has beautiful bohos and then these gorgeous like deep red on the ends and some little drops. So the strands, you guys, they're gorgeous. And there are a lot of strands over on the red collection. So Fern says, are we going to go gold or silver or both? We're going to go gold, but you definitely could do this in silver. Okay. So just keep that in mind. We're also going to use some really cool chains. So this is some donut chain in bright gold. We're just using about, I think I've got about 10 inches of this. This is also on Jessie James Beads. Now, not part of the red collection, obviously, but just a friendly little reminder that while you're shopping on the red, that Jessie James Beads has some amazing chains, so definitely check that out as well. Donna says, would you mix the metals? I always wonder. I don't mind mixing it myself. I always mix. I mean, well, not always, because clearly we're doing just a gold necklace, but I love to mix my metals together. I find absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I think that it's beautiful. The way that I work with the metal colors, whether it's the golds, the silvers, the gunmetal colors, the antique brass, I kind of view them as neutrals, and neutrals go together, right? You can put brown and black together. You can put black and navy blue together, just the same as you can put silver and gunmetal together. You can put gold and antique brass together. You can mix and match. So it's all doable. Just consider your metals as a neutral, and then it kind of opens up the whole world of design for you. Okay, so let's get started with this. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put together a three-stranded necklace. We're going to start with the top strand, okay? And the top strand is going to be where our wire wrapping and our beads are. So the middle bead is going to be the largest bead that was in the strand. I'm going to put these two beautiful satin beads on either side, and then we're going to add to this. I'm only going to do the wire wrapping on, let's see, what, 3 of the beads. So this guy, and this guy, because I didn't want you guys to have to sit here while I did the entire thing. But this is where we're going. This is what that first top tier of our necklace is going to look like. And you may have noticed something here. Look at the wire that we're using. We're using some twisted artistic wire, and we're using tarnish resistant brass in 20 gauge. You can also grab this over on Jessie James Beads. I love adding the pops of the twisted artistic wire, and I feel bad because I forget about it, but it's such a gorgeous wire. It's so much fun to add it into designs. It just adds a little extra texture to things. So don't ever forget about that twisted artistic wire. It's really, really pretty stuff, and you treat it just the same way that you would your German style wire or your plain artistic wire. So we are going to just do that. Okay, so I've cut a couple of pieces. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then we've got one more. So I've got 3 for now. We'll have to cut another one here in just a second, but we are going to treat this, sorry, my chair is creaking on me. We're going to treat this the exact same way that we would any of our wires. So I've cut myself about a 4-inch piece, and I'm going to come down on that about 1.5 inches. Thank you, Wanda. I don't know that I underestimate that. I don't know. I know that I can be a little much sometimes. So, you know, I'm well aware that I can talk people away. All right, so now I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, and I'm going to take the tail of my wire here, that backwards 7 shape, and I'm going to go up and over the top barrel of the pliers, okay? And then I'm just going to roll those out of the way and take that wire over to the other side. So we're treating this exactly like we would if this was just a plain wire that didn't have any extra to it. Now, one thing I will tell you though is that the wire itself, hey Pam, the wire itself is very, very soft. So artistic wire is definitely much softer than your German style wire. It is a half hard wire, so that it is, or I'm sorry, it's a dead soft wire, whereas German style wire is a half hard wire. So this is very soft, but because it is twisted, for whatever reason, it is a little bit softer than just your regular artistic wire. So be mindful of that when you're going to do your wire wrapping. It may feel much different than what you're used to. You can still treat it the same way, but it definitely has a feeling that is very different. Oh, you guys are so sweet. What happened to my cutter tool? Oh, okay. I know you guys are here because you love me, and I love you too so much. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys, right? So definitely a love fest both directions. All right, so I'm going to thread on one of these gorgeous beads. Oh, look at that. That beautiful red with that twisted wire. It's like, I don't know. I can't even begin to tell you how pretty I think that is. I don't know if it's coming across on camera nearly as pretty as it is in real life, but I gotta tell you, it just, I don't know, the twisted wire just adds something so different to your designs. All right, so now we're going to do the wrap loop on the bottom. And oh, Suzanne says she has trouble with the ends fraying. You know what? I do too. Let's talk about that here in just a second. Let's go ahead and do the wrap loop on this side, and then we'll talk about the ends. All right, so bending that wire and then coming in with the round nose pliers again. We're going to go up and over. We're going to put our links together with jump rings, so I'm not going to wire wrap everything to each. I'm not going to wire wrap each one of these links to each other. Okay, we're just going to use jump rings for this, just for the added little space in between there. Okay, so Suzanne says she has trouble with the ends fraying. And that is just kind of part of the nature of this twisted wire. And I'll show you, since we're going to cut this piece off, I'll show you what she means. So the twisted wire is 3 pieces of smaller wire, which I believe is a 26 gauge. I'm not positive, but I believe that that's 26 gauge wire. And it's 3 pieces that have been twisted together. And so when you're working with it, depending on you know, what you're doing with it, it may fray on the end. I mean, that's just kind of the way that it works. But there's something that you can do, and it's not really anything super magical by any means. But if you do run into that problem, there are 2 things. Well, actually, there are a couple of things, but one of the first things is, if you'll unwind some of this, you'll just keep on untwisting the ends of it. You've got 3 pieces of wire here that you could potentially put 3 extra beads on. You could make little swirls, you know, you can do lots of extra decorative things. Okay, so kind of look at the fray as not necessarily your enemy, right? You can use it as an extra design element. But if you're in a situation like we're in and you don't have time for that, ain't nobody got time for that right now. We have got to cut this off, okay? And the number one thing I recommend for cutting the twisted wire is a flush cutter. And it's gonna give you a really, just like with your other wires, it's gonna give you the cleanest cut with those twisted pieces. Okay, if you still have problems and you are in a situation where you can't cut really close down here, in fact, let's go ahead and cut this one off. So I'm using my flush cutter to cut that off. And the next thing I'm going to do after I cut that, to make sure that it's not going to fray, see where that little piece is sticking up right there? I'm going to squeeze that in, okay, just a little bit. Now you don't see it, and I don't have to worry that it's going to get stuck on your clothing. But if you can't get a cut that close, depending on what you're doing, you can smash the end. And I know that seems kind of counterintuitive, but if you smash the end of that flat and then kind of trim the strays, I know that doesn't look super pretty, but when it is in a situation where it can be hidden, it makes a huge difference, because you've mashed them with your pliers, and they're less likely, since they're no longer rounded and they're flat, they're less likely to undo themselves. You see what I'm saying? So I know it's not a big like no-brainer, wow, or not no-brainer, but like, you know, a big glorious epiphany that I have showed you, but depending on what you're doing, just to squeeze those flat with just the tip of your pliers is enough to make those wires stay put so that they don't come undone. There's nothing worse than having a wire wrap situation and then not having that end tucked in with your twisted wire and it get hung on, particularly a sweater. Sweaters are the worst. Any kind of knit material, you have to be real careful with this stuff. So just, you know, and I don't want to deter you from using it because it's absolutely beautiful. Just take some little extra care when you are working with the twisted wire, because it is a little bit different of an animal. All right, so we're going to do another one, up and over. Okay, roll the pliers out of the way and then take that over to one side, and then we are going to wire wrap. Okay. All right, and you can see where it starts to fray right at the end. Using your flush cutter is going to be your #1 defense against that. But then the next thing you want to do is, after you put your bead on, you definitely want to tuck that, give it a little squeeze. See where it's sticking out? That's just enough to get hung right on your favorite knit clothing. So always kind of push that end in, okay? All right, now we're going to do the other wrapped loop on the other side. Okay, bending the wire and coming in with the round nose pliers. Okay, up and over. Roll the pliers out of the way, take it over to the other side, and wire wrap. Okay. Oh gosh. Elise says she's late doing laundry. I've been working on the laundry all day long, and I can't get away from it because the laundry room is literally outside of my office door. So I can't get away from it. Like, I hear the laundry all day. It's a reminder that I need to get up and change the laundry. All right, when you're done, come do mine. Please, would you please? All right, we're gonna do one more. Okay, and actually we're gonna do two more, but we're gonna do this one like normal. Okay, so we're making that backwards 7 with our chain nose pliers, coming in with the round nose pliers. I'm gonna take that wire up and over. Okay, roll the pliers out of the way, and then on around. Okay, coming to the other side, or the other hand rather, so that I can use my dominant hand to do the wire wrapping. Okay, trim that, and then we're going to thread on one of these gorgeous rondelles, and we will wire wrap again, a wrapped loop, and then we will tuck all those ends. So just since we've got twisted wire on the brain at the moment, we've been talking a lot about it. Something that I really do recommend is using wrapped loops when it comes to using your twisted wire. Just because they do tend to fray. If you do just a simple loop where it does have an opening on it, you're kind of opening yourself up for it to fray as it gets pulled, you know, just from regular wear. I know we don't necessarily think that we're pulling on our jewelry, but our jewelry really goes through a lot during the day when we wear it, surprisingly. Okay, so there is our strand. Okay, I took some of the beautiful beads from our strand and we've wire wrapped all those together. And I'm going to connect all of these with some 6mm jump rings, and then we will move on, and I'm going to show you just how much this twisted wire is just like regular wire. We're going to do a knotted head pin with it. Okay, just to show you. You definitely can treat it the same way. But first, let's open and close a bunch of jump rings. So to open and close your jump rings, 2 pairs of pliers, open with a twist. Okay, just gonna loop one on, loop on the other, and then close those back and work our way down. And then I also want to be sure that I put 6mm jump rings on either end of this as well, because we are going to attach this to 2 other strands when we get further along in our design. Okay. I feel like this design is such a, you know, I don't know what it is. It must just be the beads, but I feel like red is just so classy. right? That when you use red beads, it doesn't necessarily matter what it is. It just makes it look like, I don't know, classy and high end, I guess. I don't know that I should say it that way necessarily, but I don't know, you know, it's just because the reds are so rich, I think, in color, that it makes things, I don't know, it makes everything better. I just really love red. Here I am carrying on about a color, but I really do love red, obviously. All my furniture downstairs is red. I have red hair. My room is red. I kind of have a thing for the red, which is sad because I can't wear a lot of red because it clashes, but I do love it very, very much. All right, so there is our first tier. Oh, I forgot to put the jump rings on either end. This is the first tier of our 3-strand necklace. So the next 2 tiers are going to be chain related. And we're actually only going to use one more bead, but I don't want you to just stop there in your own design, right? You can make as many beaded layers as you want to. I'm just keeping it simple here. All right, so here is our gorgeous, this chain is just so pretty. So this donut bright gold colored chain, it has these little, see this guy, he looks very much like a donut. He's a little bit thicker than this guy is, and then yeah, I guess it's just those two, but they also have kind of a texture to them, so it adds like a whole nother dimension to the piece. This is going to be the next layer down in our necklace, and there's really nothing to do to this. I've used about, this piece right here is, let's measure it just to be sure, because I have taken 2 links of this too. So I want you to at least have, okay, so this piece is 9 inches exactly. Okay, not including the 2 jump rings. So when you go to cut your chain, 9 inches is going to give you the right amount for the bottom. But I've also taken 2 of the donuts from the leftovers from my chain, and we're going to use these in the on either side of our necklace when we start working on the length part. Okay, so save 2 of the links. They can be the smaller ones, they can be the bigger ones, whatever you want. And they do have these little tiny jump rings on them. Take the jump ring out of one of them and leave the jump ring in the other. Okay, so you're going to need 2 of those. One of mine is already attached to some leather because we are going to attach this to some leather. But at the moment, this one is free and all we need is just the one. Okay, so let's see. The next thing we're going to do, this is where I wish I had like a camera that was up a little bit higher so that I could get more into the shot here. The next layer is going to be some really skinny chain, okay? And I've got 2 pieces. Let me make the measurements for you so you'll know. Let's see. This one is 5.5 inches. So we've got 2 5.5 inch pieces of chain, and then this one piece right here is a little over 1 inch. Okay, and we're going to create a Y necklace, and then we're going to put this beautiful bead right here on the bottom of the Y. So we've got color from the bottom all the way up to the top. I just wanted to add that extra pop of color to this. Even though it's reasonably easy to put together, it makes a big statement, okay? So I've got my 2 pieces of chain. They're going to be going that direction, just like that. And then we're going to take a 6mm jump ring. And let's open this up. We're going to thread on the end of one of the chain pieces. We're going to thread on our little short piece. Okay, and then we're going to thread on the end of the other piece. So that is going to make a Y shape for us when I lay it all out here. Okay, and it's not a very long Y. You definitely could make this longer if you wanted to, but do take into consideration that your bead is also, you know, there's also some length involved with the bead as well. Okay, so to attach our little bead here, I'm going to take some more of our twisted artistic wire, and we're going to do a knotted head pin with this. So we're going to treat this the same way that we do our regular wire. So I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. I'm going to grab the tail end of that wire. I did cut a really long piece. I do not need all of that. But I'm going to wrap that around the very tip of the round nose pliers once, and then I'm going to go around a second time. And we want to stop where the wire is cut and actually a little bit frayed here because it's that twisted wire. Now before we take it off of the tool, we want to take it and bend it this direction, okay, and then take it off. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take the tail end and stick it back through the two little loops that we made. So we have this funny looking little shape here. It looks sort of like a little lasso. And then we want to bring in our nylon jaw pliers, and we want to grab that wire right up against the two loops that we made. Okay, they need to be sitting directly up against the side. Don't leave any spaces here because you won't get your knot pulled nice and tight. Okay, then we are going to take another pair of pliers and pull. And we're pulling that wire through the two loops that we created and through the jaw of the pliers to create this pretty little rosette. And it is a really pretty one with that twisted wire. It looks really good. Okay, so we have ourselves a knotted head pin with our twisted wire. Okay, now I'm going to pop our bead on just like so. And then we are going to create a wrapped loop up here on the top of a piece of fuzz that will not go away. Oh, just moved to the other hand. All right, so grabbing the wire right where it's exiting the bead, bend the wire 90 degrees. Take those pliers away, come in with the round nose pliers, and we're going to go up and over. Roll the pliers out of the way so that we can take the wire on over to the other side. And then we are going to wrap. And I'm actually going to double this wrap up. So I've already done the 3 wire wraps. I'm going to take the tail and go back up. So from bottom to top, just covering the wraps that I already made, just to kind of bulk that up a little bit. Take that off, really just showing off that wrap or that twisted wire. I just think it looks really, really pretty. Wonder Woman's golden lasso. It was made out of twisted artistic wire. Who knew? Who knew? All right, I'm just going to trim that off. And I do want to give that a little pinch to be sure that that little piece is not going to stick out. Run your finger behind it just to make sure. And we have this guy ready to add. So we're just going to add another 6mm jump ring. I'm using 6mm jump rings for everything in today's project, but you can use size 4, right? You can do your 4mm jump rings if you want to. It makes absolutely no difference. 6 is just the most common. It's the one that I have the most of. I use it the most, really. Occasionally I'll grab for the 4s, but I have an abundance of 6mm jump rings, so it is 6mm for us. Okay, so those are the 3 tiers of our necklace, and we're going to group all of these together with a singular jump ring, okay, on either side, and then we are going to create the length of our necklace. So I've opened up another 6mm jump ring. I'm going to thread on this bottom layer on one side. I'm going to thread on our chain piece. Okay, our big chain piece, and then I'm going to thread on our beaded strand. And am I closing that back? I can't remember what I did here. Well, I definitely have to close the jump ring. You can't walk around with the jump ring open, but just trying to remember exactly how I connected all this together. I don't think I have enough jump rings over here. That's all right. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. When you're doing the second side of your necklace, just be sure that you are putting things in the right order as you are threading them on. Okay, so you definitely don't want to like mix it up and thread on the middle strand first or the top strand or what. You want to put them both the same order on both sides. Okay, And then you want to close your jump ring. Now I remember looking at looking at this guy. That's what it was. We're going to attach, I shouldn't have closed those jump rings yet, but that's okay. We can open them back up. So this guy's, I left that little tiny jump ring on him. That was part of the actual design. You can see that between each one of the little donuts in this gorgeous chain, there are some little tiny jump rings in between there. I left one on, and then up here on the top, I took that one off because we're actually going to cover that up with some leather. I didn't need it, but I do need this little jump ring right here. So let's get that piece ready. What we're going to do is we're going to create a lark's head knot with some of our black faux suede lace from Bead. This is available over on the Jessie James Beads website in black and in brown. I picked the black just because I feel like it looks really good with the red, but you definitely could do brown if you wanted to. The brown is a really beautiful color as well. It's not like it's not an ugly brown. It's a really pretty brown. It's a deep brown, I should say. There are no ugly colors. Come on. All right, so I have it's about a 20-inch piece, and we need a 20-inch piece on both sides. So let me get the other piece ready here. I forgot to untie the knots, and that's kind of part of it. So, okay. So I have a 20-inch piece that might be a little bit long, but this whole necklace is long in general. Okay, I folded it in half. Okay, so I have two open ends down here and then the loop on this side, and we're just going to create a lark's head knot. So to do that, we're going to take our loop and we're going to put it through the center of our little donut, just like that. Okay, and then I want to take the two ends and stick them back through the loop of our faux suede. Okay, and then I want to pull, and that's going to create our little lark's head knot, and I want that to cover, see that little hole right there where we took the jump ring out? I just want to slide that over the top of that, right? You'll never even see it, never know it was there. And then pull on that to make it nice and secure. Now if you want to, you can come over here to the back and add a tiny little bit of glue to the back of the leather. I would use hypo cement for that. I would not use like super glue unless you've got one that doesn't tend to, they kind of calcify, right? They create like a haze, and sometimes it can discolor your leather. If you've got one that doesn't hurt your leather, then go for it. A lot of the gels are really good about not doing that, but some of the other ones do tend to create a haze and will discolor your suede lace or your leather or whatever cord you're using. So I definitely recommend the hypo cement right there, but it's on the back, so it's really not going to make that big of a difference as long as you are not heavy-handed with it. Okay, so there is one end, and then we need to come to the other end down here, and we're just going to tie an overhanded knot with our two strands. So I'm just kind of looping them and then taking the two ends and popping those through. And I do want to kind of measure up against the one that I've already made to make sure that they're both the same and that the knots are in the same place. I'll move that one down just a tiny bit. It's a little too far down. Let's see if I can wiggle that open. I did pull that pretty tight. Just enough to kind of wiggle it. Just a little. That's pretty good. Okay, and then for these knots, make sure both strands are the same length. The two knots on the end, I would attach your jump rings before you add any glue to these, and I definitely would add some glue to these. I definitely would add some more of the hypo cement. So what I do, you can actually tie the knot with the jump ring tied into it if you want to. But a lot of times, gotta grab a clasp, a lot of times I will just wiggle the jump ring through a piece of the suede. So I'll show you what I mean. It's not hard. I feel like it's easier and quicker to do it this way than it is to try to tie my knot around the little jump ring. So I just open my jump ring up, and then I'm going to slide it underneath. If I can get underneath both strands, that's exactly what I want. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to close that back. Okay. And the only thing is that there's not a whole lot of area here for your clasp to grab onto. So I like to add a second jump ring to that, just so that your clasp has a really good jump ring to grab onto. You have the whole thing and you don't have to fight with your necklace when you go to put it on. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but the other side I'm actually going to add the clasp to. But I'm pretty much doing the exact same thing. So I'm just opening up the jump ring, and I'm going to find a spot, and it doesn't really matter where, to slide your jump ring through. I really try to clear both strands if possible, but if you can't, one is enough, particularly if you're going to use glue. And then I'm just going to pop on my clasp and close that back. Okay, so now you can see they've got that extra jump ring definitely gives it a good, it's much easier to attach it that way. But as far as like your glue is concerned, you definitely want to add some more hypo cement to this. I would add it to the bottom and the top on each side, just a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot, but you definitely want to be sure that you add some to this, just in case your suede lace wiggles open. If it wiggles open, you're going to lose your necklace, and there's nothing worse than losing your necklace, you know, particularly if you don't notice it when it happens, and then you get home and you're like, oh, I lost that somewhere in the parking lot, somewhere. Okay, so now we want to attach this to our necklace, and our necklace will be done. I'll show you what it looks like. I've got one of the tall little bust things down here in the floor ready to go, because this is a little bit longer of a necklace. So, oh, I didn't need these two jump rings. Silly. I had this jump ring where everything is attached already. I just need to open it back up. So I don't normally recommend opening and closing your jump rings more times than you absolutely need to, but we forgot. So, all right, I'm just going to thread that on to that tiny little jump ring that's attached to our little donut finding there, if you will. It was a piece of chain, and now we're using it as a finding. And then same thing on the other side. I do need to be sure that I'm keeping everything in the right order though, so kind of wiggle that around to make sure that everything is not overlapping, twisted, and close that up. And voila, which it doesn't look like much right there, but I'm going to put it on a bust so that you can see it, and then I'll turn you guys around so you can kind of get an idea of what this looks like. I think this was a really pretty idea. It can definitely be executed in a lot of different ways. So let me get this on the bust, and almost got it, you guys. Okay, I'll get you guys turned back around here. Okay, any problem using twisted jump rings? That is a good question. So here's the thing about twisted jump rings. For me, I would not use this twisted artistic wire to make jump rings with. However, so here's our necklace, and you can see you can shorten this part up. You can add even more beads to this, and it would be amazing. But I don't know. It feels like going out to dinner, right? I don't know. That's just what it feels like to me. And it's probably because I haven't been out to dinner in like 4 months, and I'm just like, I miss restaurant food so bad. But I feel like this is just such a pretty fun kind of Friday night necklace, right? With your little black dress. I'd wear this with my blue jeans, let's be completely honest. But if I were a little black dress kind of girl, I would definitely wear this with my little black dress. However, like we were talking, sorry, I did not mean to get off of the subject there when it comes to the twisted wire. So the twisted artistic wire, I personally would not use it to make jump rings. It does come in, let's see, I think it goes all the way up to 18 gauge. You can get it in 18 gauge and you may get away with it, but I would use instead, I would take my German style wire and twist it with a wire twister and use that to make my jump rings with, just because I know that the German style wire is stronger, it's harder, it's, you know, it's just more dependable when it comes to creating jump rings. And then just snip your jump rings and you've got they are really beautiful. There's no denying that. Twisted jump rings they are absolutely gorgeous, but I probably wouldn't use the artistic wire. That's just my opinion. It doesn't mean that that's the law by any means, but just remember that the artistic wire is very, very soft. So, you know, anytime you get your necklace caught on something or your bracelet, or you're kind of risking it just a little bit. Again, it's just like using a regular loop instead of doing a wrapped loop. You've got that opening, and that opening is a place where it essentially is a weakness in the jewelry, just in that one spot. And the twisted wire opens very, very easily. So just my 2 cents on that. All right. So Jane says, are you doing a different project every day for every color? Oh, girl, no. I could have, but oh gosh, no. I do have other things that I have to work on in between my Facebook Lives. We probably should have planned that out a little bit. We probably could have pulled that off for sure. I know Sarah would have loved that, but she didn't ask me that, and so no, the answer is no. I'm sorry. I do have to rest in between there and do other things, but I will have another project for you guys on Thursday. Well, actually, first and foremost, I will have a Dress It Up buttons project for you guys on Wednesday. That's our new day at 1 p.m. I'm going to do another just quick and fun Father's Day last minute project, and then I will have another jewelry project for you guys right here on on Jessie James Beads. I forget where I am, on Jessie James Beads at 11 a.m. on Thursday, and then on Sarah Ellis Designs on Friday. I've got a project for them, so I'm kind of busy. I'm a busy gal, you guys. I got lots of stuff going on. No, and it's so fun. I love it. I love spending Jane. Oh my God, only Jane can get away with that. Anyway, you're so funny. That's supposed to say sassy, Jane. All right, you guys. Oh no, Jane says she's having surgery on Wednesday. Well, I am thinking happy thoughts for you. I'll be chatting with you. I'll talk to you before then. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday evening. I feel like I missed a question though. Let me look back just real quick. So Fern wants to know, can you tell us what colors are on sale each day? I cannot. I'm sorry. I wish that I could, and it's not because I can't, but it's because I don't remember the order that they go in. I do know that there is blue coming up. Not tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow's color is, and it's not because I'm just not allowed to tell you, but I don't know what they are off the top of my head. So no, I cannot tell you right this second, but it's going to be a good one, you guys. It's all the great colors that you guys love. I can definitely tell you that much. All right, have a wonderful rest of the evening, you guys. Post your red designs. If you've got something made out of red Jesse James beads that you absolutely love, post it over on Secret Stash, and let's put together a photo album of all of our customer creations. And I will see you guys again on Wednesday for some of you, on Thursday for the rest of you. And now it's time for dinner. Bye guys, I love you.